Hi, Al. It's occurred to me that some of you may be a little confused about how the essay is going to run. This is an example of an essay question that's used on the AP test. My essays are very similar, just not as long. So what you'll have is you'll have a prompt. Here, the prompt is Zoe wants to buy a new car, but is having difficulty deciding what kind of car to buy. She feels anxious and wants to make a decision soon. Zoe visits several local car dealers and asks for advice of some of her friends. Explain how each of the following could influence her decision. Be sure to discuss each concept in the context of Zoe's decision. Okay, and most of the time, my essays will say define and apply the following. Okay, now listen to that carefully. Define and apply. So I not only have to define approach avoidance conflict, I need to apply it to Zoe's situation. Now, of course, these are vocabulary words we have not covered yet. These are from a different unit, okay? But the format is similar. So in an essay, I can't bullet point my essays, okay? Do not bullet point your essays. You will not get credit. It has to be in a paragraph type of form essay. So now I define approach avoidance conflict and I apply it to Zoe's situation. Completely two different sentences. If you try to do it in one sentence, then typically I'm not sure if you're trying to define or apply, and I can only give you one of the points, okay? So you want to define, then apply, all right? So with that said, you're going to do that for every single term. You don't need an introduction. You don't need a conclusion. Dig right into the essay of defining and applying these terms. Now, majority of the time, my essays have only 3 to 4 terms that you're defining and applying to the scenario. Don't apply to a different scenario. Apply to the scenario given to the essay. All right, that's how you get the points for the essays. We'll go over in class after our very first test. We'll go over the essays, or I will create a video or something so you can see how those essays were graded. All right, but for this first time, this will all be new for you, and that's exactly what's going to happen with your essays. I will have a scenario. You need to define and apply and explain how it fits the scenario. Or I may have a compare and contrast, and you need to define and apply how these vocabulary terms, whichever ones I choose, fit that compare contrast. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Thanks a lot, guys.